In terms of minutes, you won the O-zone possession battle last game. What do you want to see more of when you have that time in the offensive zone?
Well, I think that was a product of time and score first. But having said that, we did find ways that we could at least get through the neutral zone when we managed the puck, because it really hurt us early on, and find ways to keep possession. And then now, how are we going to break them down and get inside? That's the last piece of the puzzle, because I've said this many times, the way we play D-zone, I don't care if a team has the puck longer than us in O-zone. If they never get inside, they're not dangerous. So we have to find ways to get inside. And I thought in the second period there were stretches we did. Some of it was fatigue on their end from being stuck on their own end. And some of it was we moved it around to sort of spread them out a little better, and then we spread them out, then get inside. So that's something we address this morning and see if we can do more of that.
Have you been surprised the neutral zone's been pretty open for both teams?
Well, they've done a good job of taking it away from us in the middle, right? We're getting it through the neutral zone. We got to go outside, then get inside, right? So, and that's okay if that's what's there. We've given up the neutral zone when we turned over a puck, so it's basically, I think we'll be a lot better in that area tonight, force them to dump, which they typically did the first game. There was a lot. I don't think we gave up one odd man rush the first game, and probably one of the reasons that, they only scored a couple goals and didn't have a lot of shots. So that's important. The other night, I think it was more self-inflicted than what they did. All right, now they force you into turnovers, so that part is credit to them. But it wasn't our structure that hurt us; it was our taking care of the puck that hurt us.
Does it help that it's a little bit more correctable going?
Well, that's something that you just hope your players that's behind them, like they probably said some of the things the first game when we got a few odd man rushes, right? So that's a little bit of hockey from night to night. It can be unpredictable. What a puck bounces on a player or he just doesn't have it. How do you get that guy to sort of reel his game in and just, hey, you know what, give us a B game tonight. The A game's not going to be there. And that's hockey. That's dealing with people, and that's players. When you play, this is the highest level playoff hockey, that you can get forced into some of that. So that's on us as a staff too, to sort of identify that with the player and try to get them sort of in a good place.
Bruce, the forecheck's going to be a part of playoff hockey anytime, but does it become more difficult when there's a player that's so committed to it like Marcus is?
Well, it becomes more difficult because he can hurt you. He's a big man. So there's running legal interference, making him go the long way to hit you. There's different, whatever forward's the first in his way or the D partner. Or you can try to trap him in between too, right? Like if you get back there first, get first touch, move it, and he's still on his way in, then you can counter anything in hockey if you're on time, right? So we got to get back quicker on pucks and maybe manipulate where the dump comes from. That's easier said than done. That's what he does for a living, right? It's when Colasar gets going and that line, they throw it behind you. Howden, that's when they're successful, right? So it's denying them the easy access maybe through the neutral zone to get the red line sometimes, as simple as that. But he's going to get his licks in. We just got to be ready and prepared and on our toes so that we can absorb some of it, not take the full brunt of it.
As a coach, there's so much appreciation for skill in this game, but do you appreciate those guys? You just mentioned Colasar.
I love those guys. We've always used our fourth line guy. I'll go back to Boston, the Nola Charis of the world, and Chris Wagner's that were in there, banging. And over a playoff series, they have more value because they can wear a guy down, right? And it's the same guy you're pounding over and over. You hope that at some point he's tired of going back and getting on pucks. So what happens then is they lose their gap. So now you start making plays in front of them off the rush. So that's what you hope for when you're pounding guys. I mean, I think everybody tell you in a clean hit, if you can force a guy, to not be 100%, well, that's a win too. But that to me is a little bit of the, that's when you're really fortunate. It's more just the constant, over 3 periods and then 3 periods for 7 games of going back on. It's the mental part of it that you can wear people down as well.
Does there need to be like a different focus for Eichel and Stone and Barbashev in that first line?
I think they had a good first game in terms of there wasn't a lot of offense out there. They created a little bit. I thought as the game went on yesterday, Mark became more physical. Barbie's going to the front of the net at the end. There's stuff going on. So they started to get more engaged in the game, and that's it for me. The message: get engaged in the game. They're too good, right? When players of their talent level get engaged in the game, and say the same about either side, their game's going to go up because they're all disciplined. These are not hotheads, right? So they just need a little more engaged in the game, a little more. Hey, I'm going to show you, and we'll be just fine with that line.
Do you expect them to match more with the road game?
It's a good question. I anticipate they will, but I don't know that. And we went different directions. Some of the second game, I wouldn't look at any of our. We're chasing the game. It's 4-0. We're trying to score. But early on, we used different lines against the Boldy line. We feel that that's their most dangerous line. So far, that has proven to be true. Doesn't mean the other guys can't hurt you. So they may look at it the same way and find their matchup for Jack.
You mentioned the other day you want them to get more ozone time. Or sustained ozone time? What is the process of?
Well, there's getting through the neutral zone with speed and driving the puck deep, first of all, against a team that plays inside, right? So they give you a little bit of those lanes. So take them. And then support the puck once they do converge on you low. Then you got to get it away from pressure. So if you're able to do that now, you can play hockey. And some of it's just then playing hockey. Some of it's structure. That how do you want to be spaced out? Do you want your deactive, or do you want them staying high so that they can be outlets for you because they protect the middle? So those are discussions we've had. We went through it all this morning. I thought as the game went on, we did a good job with that. As I said, time and score allowed us to do a little more of that, but I think there is opportunity to do that the way they play, just like there is against us the way we play.
For elite players, do you think it's easier sometimes on the road? Obviously, you don't
Yes.
have the last match, but
No,
they know what they're getting.
No, I think sometimes you go on the road, your focus gets narrowed, right? It's just the reality of it. And that is the advantage. They're together, it's them, and it's hockey, and sometimes it's enough to sort of get you back on track. You can't do that forever. You have families, right? But for 3 or 4 days, so sometimes it's not a bad thing. And then, because your focus primarily is on the task at hand, and sometimes that can help you.